Welcome to CTV News Your Canada. It is Wednesday, May the 7th. We'll bring you profiles of fascinating Canadians and stories about your community. Thanks for watching.
I think it's terrible. I think we should stay in Canada. I don't think Alberta is that bad a place. Danielle Smith might think that, but I don't think that.
No, I'm happy to be a Canadian.
I'm against that. That's a waste of money, waste of time.
I just find it's very divisive, and that this is a completely unnecessary exercise to take part in.
When asked, most Albertans don't want to vote on Alberta independence, while some say it's the only option.
Yeah. Alberta, Saskatchewan, BC, Manitoba. Draw the line there.
It's those voices Danielle Smith says Albertans need to listen to.
They have a right to be able to have those conversations with their friends and family and not to be demonized for it.
In her 20-minute live social media address, the Premier pledged her government would not put forward a referendum to separate, adding any Albertan with enough signatures can.
I won't prejudge what issues citizens might want to put on the table, but that is up to citizens to decide and to get the number of signatures. All I've said is I will honor the process.
This is a time to unite the country, not people saying, oh, I'm leaving the country, or I'm doing this, I'm doing that. You know, united we stand, divided we fall.
The notion of separation being rejected by leaders in the East and the West.
Talk of separation is really insanity, because there is no pathway to separation. You can have all the referendums you want.
Bill 54, this is what we think of you. You're garbage like that.
Strong words from First Nations leaders as legal experts warn even after a referendum, the path to separation will be long and painful.
The only thing we can say for sure is that negotiations will be triggered, that we're in the midst of a constitutional crisis that would be unprecedented, and that Canada would have a massive issue to resolve.
The Premier says possible referendums could be put to Albertans in 2026. Shailan Skolsky, CTV News, Edmonton.
She was known as Nova Scotia's sister to courage, and now a new book casts Wanda Robsons as the main character in the story of her own life.
At least if you look at a $10 bill, you see the image of Viola Desmond. But very few people know the work that was done behind the scenes.
By now, Viola Desmond's story is well known, and her sister was there every step of the way in bringing it to public light.
A woman, a black woman, is ordered on a $10 bill. The Queen is in good company.
Much has been written already about Viola too, including in the book penned by her sister. So now, Graham Reynolds, who taught Wanda Robson at Cape Breton University when she went back to school in her 70s, has released a new published account that tells the backstory of her life.
Because without Wanda, we wouldn't know really anything about Viola. She would be just maybe a couple sentences in a history book somewhere.
In the front row at today's book launch was Joe Robson, Wanda's husband of more than 50 years until she passed away in 2022 at age 95.
To be truthful, she would say, why me? Because a number of times with different accolades, that's the first comment she would make to me, well, why me?
The book details Robson's early days growing up in Halifax, how she picked up the pieces of her life following a difficult first marriage, and her rise to become a nationally renowned advocate for social justice and for her sister's legacy.
I think that she should be remembered as a woman of courage herself, and a remarkable woman that really set herself to make a difference, and she did.
Very lovingly. She's a fantastic lady.
The latest word on a remarkable life, with copies available online at capebretonbooks.com. Ryan McDonald, CTV News, Sydney.
Moving to Quebec means saying goodbye to your Ontario license plate.
We'll be switching over the plates to not cause any issues.
Bob Barkley and Melissa Patarakis now live in Quebec and are in the process of switching driver's licenses and the plate on their car.
Well, we're Quebec residents, so if you switch everything over to Quebec,
it's the right thing to do.
It's the right thing to do.
But not everyone is doing that.
So we have received 1,400 reports, and now we're working on 140 cases.
Gatineau Police launched an operation targeting Quebec residents with out-of-province license plates. Since February, 6 tickets have been issued.
If you're from from another province, you have 90 days to change your address.
Gatineau residents encouraged to call 311 to report neighbors, friends, or other residents with a non-Quebec license plate on their vehicle.
I have neighbors with Ontario plates. So far, I haven't snitched them.
Not at all. I will not, because I do have a lot of friends that are from Ontario.
The crackdown on out-of-province plates comes after the city implemented a new vehicle registration tax to help pay for Gatineau's public transportation. Under the plan approved by council, each registered vehicle is subject to a $60 tax in 2025, jumping up to $90 in 2026.
As a person who used to take transit a lot, I understand what it's like, so I'm all good. You can take that little money, put it towards transit for the other people. I know what it's like, so sharing is caring, in my opinion.
The fine for having an out-of-province license plate is $200. Peter Sperling, CTV News.
Scott Homeman is getting ready to compete against the fittest people on the planet.
For CrossFit, this is like our Olympics.
The 55-year-old Homeman, who calls Goderich home, is qualified for the 2025 CrossFit Games Masters Division happening this August in Ohio, where he'll compete to be the fittest 55 to 59-year-old in the world.
You have to be in the top 1% in the world to even get to semis. Really in the first place. And then after that, it's just the top 30.
Homeman, who owns CrossFit Goderich at the Ridge Fitness with his partner Jennifer Morris, is one of only 2 Canadians to qualify in his age category for the CrossFit Games. Well, it looks like he's been working out his whole life. He only started doing CrossFit 15 years ago.
Some people call it the aha moment, and it's like, I need to do something. I need to do it now. So, I started CrossFit, and I've just never really looked back.
Homeman says the combination of strength training and explosive athleticism that CrossFit entails appealed to him. But reaching the competitive world of CrossFit is another animal altogether, requiring extreme commitment.
I work out probably 6 to 7 days a week. 5 days are full-on training sessions, probably anywhere from 2 to 3 hours a day.
Moore says there's a big crew from CrossFit Goderich heading to Ohio for Homeman's CrossFit Games debut, but she says while competition may be Homeman's path, CrossFit can be for anyone.
We have a blind athlete. We have athletes that are adaptive athletes, so things get modified. We have people that, have never squat before in their life or done a push-up or pull-up.
Homeman says his workout regime will intensify as August nears, and he wants to win, but simply reaching the top 30 fittest CrossFit athletes in the world in his age category is a huge victory.
First time ever making it to the championships. A couple times I've put an effort in and tried. It's tough. It's tough to make that final cut.
In Goderich, Scott Miller, CTV News.
Support, care, and advocacy for pets in need.
Maddie's Place, first of all, is a Canadian dog rescue, so that's our mandate.
It is a Canadian rescue, focuses on Canadian dogs, also focuses on medical dogs, ones that are a little bit more difficult, need a little bit more time and love to understand.
The Toronto-based pet rescue is going all in to support the four-legged friends in their care, making sure prospective pet parents and the dogs start out on the right foot.
Yeah, it's very important to absolutely check, dog profiles, to check their breed, to understand their needs, and trust a rescue when they say that this dog may or may not be a good fit for your lifestyle.
And with May being National Pet Month, they teamed up with some Toronto-based companies to help support local while introducing the community to dogs looking for their forever home.
That gets our dogs that are, often harder to place in front of more people and a bigger audience so that we can find their perfect homes.
Raising awareness about the need for foster care volunteers and critical funds to support dogs like Callie, who came into the rescue at just £50.
Always when I say I foster dogs, like, oh, how can you give them up? And to me, I don't see it as giving them up. I see it as giving them a good start in life.
With the main goal always being education.
Adoption is, really paving a way so that a dog does find a home, isn't at risk of euthanasia, and it allows us to bring another dog into the rescue.
For more information on how to foster, pet adoption, or how to support the rescue, you can visit maddiesplace.ca. Jessica Smith, CTV News.
Hey Barrie, Ontario, Dean Brody here. Super excited to announce we're playing June 14th at the Meridian Amphitheatre.
A stellar lineup of award-winning Canadian artists, kicking off with multi-Juno and 18-time Canadian Country Music Award winner Dean Brody. The four-part celebration of live music is set to light up Meridian Place this summer.
There's a lot of focus on country music and country music culture right now, and so if we can use that to have a wonderful concert for folks who are living in Barrie and the surrounding area, I think it's a wonderful thing to see happen on our waterfront.
It's not very often that you not only get to take advantage of concerts like that with such big names, and hey, it doesn't cost you anything.
Baby, I'm just a teenage dirtbag. The festival also putting a spotlight on local talents. The 99s, a dynamic 8-piece band that plays huge hits from all different eras, will take the stage on July 26th. Led by Barrie native and vocalist Carly Aikens.
So we thought, you know, if our local community has brought these acts together, why not give the opportunity for our locals to participate?
Stretching beyond the city's boundaries, Huntsville's Hawksley Workman will bring a theatrical stage presence and eclectic music style that the multi-Juno Award winner is widely known for to Meridian Place on August 16th. And to close out the summer concert series, the multi-Juno Award winner and 23-time CCMA winner Brett Kissel will take the stage on September 6th. But that's not all.
We're showcasing local talents like Dana Reed from Elmville and the chance for local talents to be discovered. So this is a great thing. It's a win-win for the fans, win-win for the city.
Mirror, mirror on the wall, I know you can see me, can't you hear me call?
Yes, as you heard, Elmville's own Dana Reed will bring her powerhouse vocals to open the show for Kissel.
My little town, Elmville, has always supported me. I always say it's a very small town with a big heart, and just seeing familiar faces, but also connecting with new people and Brett's fans, that just kind of makes it full circle for me.
It's a long lineup, more than 260 newcomers to Calgary. Each is hopeful to get a job, but that's easier said than done.
For the first 4 months, I was looking for the job. I was trying everything like in person, online.
The Calgary Catholic Immigration Society is holding its first Youth Employment Summit at Platform Calgary. 32 employers are offering jobs. Adila Nazari moved here from India. The 20-year-old speaks 3 different languages. She's hoping to prove she has the skills to build a career in Canada.
Everybody needs to be seen so they can put their skills and their strength into work.
Others like Samuel Almera moved here from Venezuela just 3 months ago. He's aiming to network his way to the top.
Many of the positions that are available, you find it through connections. That I would say is my first and only challenge.
But a Canada-U.S. trade war is getting in the way. As tensions flare, employers remain cautious when hiring, and economists worry about inflation.
Now we've got this looming uncertainty where that turnaround that we were hoping to see is now going to be tougher to come by.
Increasing migration to Alberta is also adding to the competition for youth jobs.
Employment growth has been pretty good among the youth population, but population and labor force growth has been even stronger, and that's putting upward pressure on unemployment.
Alberta's unemployment rate is up to 7.1% over the last year, but unemployment for the 15 to 24-year-old age group is even worse at 15.1%. And if you're a newcomer to the province, that rate increases to nearly 1 in 4 people without work. Events like this hope to change that.
To learn how to market their skills, how to talk about their career goals, how to market themselves.
But against the odds, these newcomers aren't giving up anytime soon.
The key is persistence.
Mark Villani, CTV News, Calgary.
Andrew Way is disabled, living with epilepsy and a back injury that is a result of a seizure. He says he uses his bike as a mobility aid under the Accessibility for Ontarians with Disabilities Act.
I've had my bike stolen before. My mother used to work security downtown. She's seen many bikes stolen, vandalized. Even people will even just take the tires and leave the frame.
Way says where possible, he brings his bike inside as his mobility aid, but is often told no bikes allowed. He refuses to use the bike rack at Tom Davies Square and many others in the city.
They're very open to anybody, and battery-operated angle grinders can get through a lock pretty quickly, and nobody walking by will stop somebody doing it. So I'd hardly call them secured.
Way has written to council, local malls, and downtown Sudbury about his concerns. He says he would like to see bike lockers, like these ones at Health Sciences North, placed throughout the city.
They have giant steel bins that you can't even see inside, so nobody knows even if there's a bike inside it. I think that would be ideal for downtown.
There is a bike locker in the underground parking at Tom Davies Square, but it's for employees only. 73-year-old Peter DeSotti bicycles downtown regularly. He says his bike was locked at this rack at the library when it was stolen recently.
Devastated. I thought this was a safe place. I mean, what could be a safer place to park your bike than at a library branch at 10 o'clock or 10:30 in the morning, right?
DeSotti says he confirmed with the library the theft was caught on video surveillance.
They had broken the lock on my bike, and there was video footage apparently available, but I can't access it. The police have to do that.
Police say officers will be attending the library to obtain video surveillance footage and confirm there were 71 reports of bicycle theft in 2024. DeSotti says he fully supports calls for more secure bike parking. In an email, the city says it's committed to supporting the development of accessible and secure bike infrastructure. And it continues to assess opportunities to improve bike amenities across the community. Alana Everson, CTV News, Sudbury.
It's been 9 months since record rainfalls flooded the basements of thousands of Quebecers. Mitch Levis hasn't been able to fix his mother-in-law's basement after hiring a company called EA Renovations.
Nope. We had a few communications by text message between my wife and him. Always excuses for why he couldn't come back.
Jenna DeLuca and Daniel Foster hired someone else to finish the job. They had also hired EA Renovations, but say they had issues with the company too.
He was very hard to get a hold of. There was always an excuse as to why he wouldn't be around.
Quebec's business registry lists the owner as Eric Arella. EA Renovations is described as a business that promotes the construction of new homes and does roof work. But an investigation shows the company does not have an RBQ license, which is required by Quebec law and is more than just a permit.
Alors, l'entrepreneur qui veut se qualifier pour obtenir une licence de la RBQ doit passer des examens.
Anyone who wants an RBQ license has to undergo a series of exams to make sure they have the skills needed in their trade. Contractors must also have insurance and post a $20,000 bond.
Si un citoyen fait une réclamation pour des travaux non exécutés ou mal exécutés,
if a citizen files a claim for work that wasn't done or poorly executed, he can request compensation through the bond, he says. According to our research, EA Renovations does not have insurance or a bond. The Régie du Bâtiment du Québec has confirmed it is now investigating the company. Jenny and Daniel claim that Arella did electrical work for them. They say he told them he was qualified.
He told us he had his electrician cards as well.
The couple filed a lawsuit against the company in small claims court. It appears they aren't the only ones. According to court documents, there are several other lawsuits against Arella that are pending. Quebec's Consumer Protection Office has also received complaints.
Yes, in the last 2 years we had 2 complaints about him, and basically it's people who says that they've paid for work that never have been done, or they've paid for badly done work and not finished.
In looking into the company, CTV News also found that Arella's GST and PST numbers on the contracts he issued were not valid. Yet, much to Levis's surprise, he was billed for the taxes.
With tax included, and we had given him a deposit of $3,000.
We reached out several times to Eric Arella to respond to the allegations. He agreed to speak to us in an email to CTV News. But after several exchanges and interview cancellations, we went to the business's official address in LaSalle. There was no answer. We tried again at his home address, also in LaSalle, and he wasn't there either. After a tip CTV News received, we were able to confirm through the Housing Tribunal that Arella is currently under an eviction notice for failure to pay his rent. So what could Jenna, Daniel, or Mitch have done? Both the RBQ and the Consumer Protection Office say there are precautions customers need to take.
La première chose, on va lui demander de vérifier sur le registre de la Régie du bâtiment.
The very first thing to do is to actually check the contractor's RBQ license, which can be done on the agency's website, and then verify that the contractor has the right license for the right trade. The Consumer Protection Agency says getting good references and multiple quotes is the next step. But in these cases, it wasn't so easy, as the two families needed to get the work done quickly.
We're all talking to each other and trying to find contractors that are available to start working.
We're overwhelmed by the situation. She's pregnant. We wanted to make sure that, things were getting done as quickly as possible, and unfortunately, it was the complete opposite which occurred. Yeah, but we've definitely learned a hard lesson, and we'll do a lot more due diligence if it happens again.
It's a lesson, they say, that's now costing them a fortune, money they're unlikely to get back. Stéphane Giroux, CTV News.
If this were a normal day, the first you to answer Ashley Rose's call would be Abigail.
And she just wants her face rubbed and her ears scratched.
But this is not normal. Abigail's not here. And that other sheep?
He doesn't look as impressive when he's all shaved down.
He's usually sporting the puffy hairdo that earned him his name.
His name is Fro, and sometimes we call him Stud Muffin. He is the only ram on our property.
Fro and Abigail first met while working together at Prohibition Vineyards.
They fertilize our vineyard. They keep all the weeds down.
And in between mowing the lawns,
They keep it to a golf green.
one thing led to another.
We were just expecting twins.
Which is when the normal day turned anything but, when Ashley arrived home after picking up her kids from school.
And we saw 3 little heads, and they were like, oh, she's had 3.
A record number, not just for Abigail, but all the sheep living here.
And my daughter Scarlett's like, oh, there's a 4th one. And then I saw the other one, and I was like, wait a second, there's 5.
New record. Unbelievable.
Well, Ashley's kids didn't believe her at first, said that was impossible. There's now no denying Abigail's had quintuplets.
And so when we Googled it, it said a 1 in a million chance.
And just in case that luck was lasting, they did buy a lottery ticket. During a break from supporting this new mom in whatever way they can, including bottle feeding the runt.
Just making sure he gets a little bit extra so that he can keep up.
While Fro has returned to his 9-to-5 of mowing lawns and growing a seductive hairstyle, Abigail is working round the clock to care for her lambs, which Ashley hopes proves inspiring for her kids.
How hard work and the sacrifice that you have to do for your children.
Because although it's rare for a sheep like Abigail to have this many babies, the boundless love these moms are showing them is not. Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Saanich.